this example, we've imported a previously saved layout, which is just an extension of what we had done earlier. At the moment, the various items are not located in their final positions, but only roughly positioned and oriented according to their original design specification. We have 4 robots, and there are 2 risers, devices, fabrications onto which we can mount robots to change their height in the plant. So the first thing we're going to do is to reposition some of the items closer to the point of use. We will already have some idea of the basic process concept, which may have been designed previously in a 2D CAD layout, possibly in 3D, although unlikely, and quite likely just as spreadsheet data and rough sketches. So the first thing we're going to demonstrate is another attach. We've done attaches before. This time we're going to attach this robot onto the riser base, the medium riser base standing just behind it there, that tall fabrication. So we select the riser base and we then use various tools, in this case snap to a surface. This is a snap operation, and when we click OK, the robot's base will be attached to the snap point on the riser. We'll see that again when we choose the next robot, this one here, and we'll snap that, okay, or attach it rather, in this case, OK, and then we'll again choose the riser and position the plate in the middle there, and click OK, and that's done. Let's move the other robots around so they're closer into location. We've got one final attach to do, which is to attach this last IRB robot, IRB number 2, to the travelling gantry. There's a locating pad to the right hand edge of the travelling gantry. So we'll come down to, again it's a snap, we select the compass for the robot and we select the gantry position. Again we'll define using a plane, and when we're happy we can click and it jumps into location. Notice that the robots haven't changed their orientation, they're still all facing in one direction, so I'll have to correct that in a short while. And we can do that in this first instance by selecting both the riser and the robot using a control key operation together, and then we can move the compass by editing it rather than dragging it. It's more precise, minus 90 degrees in that direction, in that axis. We can then also move it if we wish to, dragging the bounding box that you see there in the light blue. We can repeat that for the small riser and the attached robot, which I think is number 3. And again, both go yellow, and we can edit the compass to move them minus 90 degrees in the z-axis, or around the z-axis. Finally, we can also orientate, just simply using the compass, the FANUC robot, the yellow one, 90 degrees the other way, so it's facing towards the product that's sitting in the station, and likewise the robot, the gantry robot, that will move the first panels across into the second station at a much later stage. So we've got a few operations still left to do. We've had some analysis already done on this FANUC robot, and we know that it needs to be at a particular location in order to reach all of the parts that we think it needs to reach. So we can use the compass now to specify, from perhaps some previous drawing or other data that's been provided, a location which is 138 inches, 30 inches and 0 in Z. It's on the floor. We can apply those and it just shuffles forwards a little bit. The final thing we're going to do, having snapped, and I apologise earlier, I said attach, we were snapping the robots onto their risers, we now need to attach them, because if we don't do this, if we try and move the robot, then it can move without the pedestal or the riser moving with it. So we're going to use an attach, which is what we did with the ped welder with the piston, if you remember. So we're going to attach the riser, and its child part will be the robot. Now when we move the riser, the robot will move with it. And that's pretty much the end of that activity. We're just going to hide the attach because they sometimes get in the way. That's it, disappear that. It's still there, but just not shown in the graphics. And our next step will be to mount the weld guns. That's looking good.